Whoa.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Salty Sweet Games. Welcome to United in a Common Cause, our Lost Rifles mini-series. Super excited to be here with all of these lovely faces. You'll notice that Salty's not here, but she's behind the scenes pulling all the production strings. It's just me, sweet. I've taken over for a couple of hours. Doesn't really mean anything because she could end the stream at any moment. But anyways, I have all these lovely people with me today as we play. So we're gonna go do that, but and meet them, but in a hot second. But first, I just want to say that first off, all of the donations today are going to the Sage Community Food Bank COVID-19 response food fund, which is a great. They're a queer-friendly and inclusive space, which also helps provide food, obviously, to people who may not be able to access it, especially during these times. So there are no donation perks per se, but of course, anything that you can give is great. And yeah, so that'll all be going there. Other things is that, donating to help places is always a good thing. Of course, we have our sponsors in the background. We have Roll20, a virtual tabletop of choice, and we also have Dice Envy. They're both amazing groups which help support local indie TTRPG people in the space. So go check them out. Go check out all of the lovely stuff. It'll pop up in chat at some point to go see what all the relevant links are, but I won't linger on them too long. Also should be said, we are playing Lost Rifles, which is a World War I game, and focuses on Canadian soldiers at the front, which does mean that there's going to be some partially heavy content. So we do have content warnings, so you can check out !CW to get the content warnings for today. And also, we use safety tools here at Salty Sweet Games because no matter what happens to characters, we all want to have fun. So that's basically our channel spiel for today. I think that we're just gonna go and meet all of our lovely people, see who they are, who they're playing, and then I'll hand it over to our GM. I guess I'll just go first and say, hi, I'm playing Rose Wong. She's she, her pronouns. We saw her last time when she was a replacement, and then she got really emotionally fucked up. So she's no longer the replacement, she's no longer the newbie, but instead she's the medic. So that'll be interesting. We'll see how that goes. Let's move over to Jess. Hello, Jess.
Hi, it's me, Jess, and today I'm getting to play Estella Silva again. I'm very, very excited. We discussed that hopefully now you know, Rose no longer being the new recruit. We no longer have to. I don't have to be a bully anymore. Is the point? I didn't want to do that anymore. But I'm still the Scrounger, still playing Estella Silva. Excited to be here. However many years on in our story it is. So yeah, thank y'all for having me. I'm excited to play today.
Yay. No more mean stuff to Rose. Rose is already sad enough.
What playbook is Estella?
The Scrounger.
Scrounger?
Yeah, still the Scrounger. I didn't switch her up.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
And she uses she, her pronouns, sorry.
Nice. All right, and let's move over to B. Hello, B.
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Bizalda, and I am going to be playing Jeremiah Jones, they, them pronouns, and they are the creative. I'm still kind of like forming my character as I speak about them right this instant, but it's gonna be amazing, so just wait.
I'm super excited to learn more and see how creative you can get with this off the rails at some point. I expect it from you. And let's go over to Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
Hey, what's up? This is actually the first time I've played this game in 3 years, and I wrote it. I'm playing as Danny Moon. I am the replacement. I am the new replacement. I am in fact replacing Carl. the sniper, the scout from the last game, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's nice to have. We've got two of the co-creators down. We just need to hit the final one, and we'll have filled out our bingo card.
You got both Daniels.
You got both Daniels. That's the important one there. Daniel, not Daniel. We'll eventually hit not Daniel.
That's our company.
And of course, I'll pass it over to Jason. Hello, Jason.
Hello. It's so good to be back with United in a common cause. Man, I am so glad to be with these lovely people supporting Sage Community Food Bank, their COVID relief fund, more specifically. So glad that everybody is making it out. Big ups to Lauren, who's running production. As a sort of overview of today's lovely stream, we got about 3 hours to play with. So what we're going to do is first establish the characters themselves in relation to each other through the bonds that were so lovingly crafted by Dan and his team. So basically it'll just be a round robin of each character sort of establishing how they know each other, how they feel about each other, how they feel about the world at large, etc. At which point we will then be progressing into the mission today. As I am the field marshal, I have a little bit of an interesting time planned for our lovely Ross rifles here. As it stands, however, let's find out how everybody sort of connects, as it were. For starters, I will say that the vision that I had originally had in my head was that 2 would be from the 1st Canadian Corps, being Rose and Estelle, which was the first corps of soldiers within World War I to come out and emerge from the Canadian Expeditionary Force, which they were previously a part of. And the 3rd would be the newer, or somewhat at least younger, less battle-hardened corps that was most recently established within, I believe, the last year, given the timeline that we're sort of abiding by. So Jeremiah and Danny would sort of be these, not necessarily newer to conflict, but definitely newer to the Western Front kind of deal. As it stands, however, I think we'll go and actually just start with the replacement and see how his story kind of branches out. So Dan, if you could just give us an idea of what Private Moon has in terms of their connections and his connections, that'd be great. Oh, muted.
I'm muted. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so in terms of connection, I don't think I have any personal connections or bonds with the folks here yet.
Sure.
I will establish those as we go, and I might add them as we learn more about the characters. But I'll tell you folks a little bit about Danny. Danny is very new. Definitely not. I mean, what year is it in the war? 16?
Yeah, 16.
Okay, so he's new enough in the war, but he's not a conscript because conscription came a little bit later. Fresh uniform, youthful in appearance. I think a lot of the soldiers, because he's Asian, don't really know how old he is. But he's in his 20s. In terms of equipment, I've got a short model Lee Enfield Mark III with a bayonet. In terms of my personal item, because the personal item is super important to characters in this game, I've got a wrist identity tag. So in World War I, a lot of soldiers had like what we would call like a dog tag. But one of the most common injuries was actually to the torso. And so the dog tag would often be destroyed and they wouldn't be able to identify the body. And so families who really cared would actually get custom ones made for the wrist. So often soldiers who came from money or had family who pulled together all their savings would actually come to the front with 2 dog tags, one issued by the Canadian Expeditionary Force and one issued by their family.
Which does Danny sort of fall under in this case? Is it that
family took all of their savings to get a beautiful silver bracelet for him, and that's my personal item.
Wonderful.
You're totally gonna make me lose this.
What?
No, I'm okay. There are moves that you can lose your personal item, but yeah, that's what I've got. So I think Danny is constantly seen holding on to his bracelet, thinking about his family, but also thinking about how this is literally a symbol of how his family and the military won't forget him, even if he gets killed. So it's very important to everyone there. And I know that's super sad. Now, I was definitely, one of my questions is that, did I request this position, or was I just assigned here? And I definitely was just assigned here. Unless you have something in mind, I'm totally down to change it.
No, I will say that it was kind of, Danny specifically would have a little bit of a bird's eye view. In the current time frame, we're sort of playing around in June of 1916, which, totally, because it's June and hot as fuck.
It's really hot right now, yeah.
You would have a bird's eye view of the potential assignments. You were narrowed down to either go to the Somme or Mount Sorel.
Oh, well, I came here because I don't want to go to the Somme.
Nobody wanted to go to the Somme. And you
I don't
were
want to go to the
first
Somme.
in line to get out of the Somme.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait for my bonds because I want to see who's in charge and what leadership is like. Because one of my bonds is somebody gave me a hand when I first joined the section, and I owe them. So I want to see what the characters are like first. Somebody's also teaching me something, and somebody has seen me make a critical error. So somebody has seen me fuck up.
Ooh.
So I want to see who would reprimand me the worst, and then pick that one because it's the worst case scenario for Danny.
That is very good. I like that. Thank you.
So that's my character so far.
That's literally the one I had over Rose last time, I think, that made me such a bully.
It was, yeah.
It was, yeah.
But I'm the replacement. I'm Private Moon. I'm here. Like you lost, because one of my questions is what happened to the section mate I'm replacing, and I'm replacing Carl, who is your very capable scout.
Yep.
And I get to determine what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not that fun, but as it stands, thank you so much for the introduction to Danny.
No problem.
We'll go ahead and go to our second new arrival, B.
No.
Don't panic. Don't worry, we got you. Jeremiah, obviously, very, very creative sort of type. What are they most kind of in tune with? And give us a brief overview of who they are.
Jeremiah is like a really good finger painter. Growing up on the streets of what would have existed? Just say downtown Toronto, not a lot of resources, not a lot of access to things. So finger painting was something I picked up. It used to just be painting in the mud, and if you let it dry on a cement or something, it makes some really nice art.
Mm-hmm.
But I carry a tube of probably lead acrylic paint. Unfortunately, that's just kind of what you had. But every now and then, I like to just do little portraits of people in finger paint, and it's just the silhouetted version of them, but it's really spot on.
All right. I really do appreciate that. In terms of their uniform and all those other qualifiers, have you sort of gotten to go through the playbook and kind of yes, this one and that one?
Yes. Well, it seems like I carry a journal. My artistic tools, as I mentioned, it's just a couple of smushy tubes of lead paint. In my equipment, how many do I get to pick?
I believe
You have all of those things. That's
Yeah.
A lot of
everything that
stuff.
you're carrying.
I have a lot
Yeah.
of stuff. Really, it's my trousers that highlight me, though.
Yeah.
I've patched on my my knees at least 3 times, so it's a look, but it's cute. What does putties mean? Putties?
Oh, putties are they protect your legs.
Oh, I'm gonna Google this because I don't know what to visualize.
I'll send you a picture.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
They're have you ever watched a World War I movie or anything like that? Putties are essentially wrappings that cover up your legs. I'm actually going to put it into our Twitch chat
Yeah,
and our Zoom chat.
this can be a learning experience.
Yeah, I'm just going to
This is a
share
brand new word to me.
things from the Canadian War Museum. They're basically strips that you would wrap around your knees and ankles to protect you from debris and mud.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's really
Yeah.
cool.
it's like the war equivalent of soccer knee-high socks and shin guards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So everything here is what you would generally be carrying at this point in time.
Okay.
and
Yeah,
in
I got a lot of
terms-
stuff. It's all really faded and all really worn, and I sew too, so a lot of stuff's been patched up.
So, so the uniform, given your, I'll say that your uniform, given your description, would probably be worn with your appearance somewhat. I'm struggling between haggard and sort of youthful. Like,
I was leaning towards haggard, but like it's not.
it's not, but
It's just like they have better things to do. Like they've let their hair grow now, and it's just like it's standing up on all ends, like thick curly coils. But like it's just like it's a mess.
yeah,
It's like the
there's-
sides flattened, and like this
no
top has been
helping it.
picked out for some reason.
Sure.
His like their hands are always they've got like black on their fingertips from when the lead is just the paint is permanently on their fingertips.
Yeah.
That's just a fact of the matter. Maybe like a little smudge on their
Alright.
nose as well.
Oh, beautiful. So the bonds that you have as the creative, as I understand it, will be blank. Somebody has done something to inspire you, and you see them as your muse. You know somebody here from home and help obtain materials. Can sort of keep in mind that sort of thing. And then I'm determined to prove that my creativity has value to the war effort. That's a little more esoteric bond, but it'd be interesting to see how Jeremiah kind of infuses that. Rose, going up the line, as it were. Rose, I see next on my screen. You're the medic now.
Yeah.
You
Where's
got
the medic now?
Yeah, you have got a way different way about you. How has Rose changed? Like, what? Introduce us to Rose, this new version of Rose Wall.
Yeah, so the last time we saw Rose, she was the replacement, and she was actually the replacement for kind of in the scout area, so she was kind of Danny. But when we last saw her, she was, she started off pretty naive and sweet, and then she had a very traumatic experience where she started bonding with an enemy soldier who was about her age, and then Carl shot him, and he almost died in her arms. And she saved him because she couldn't let him die, which did cause some tension with the corp and all that stuff, because she rescued an enemy soldier from dying. But that when I was thinking about what we were going to do for this one, I was like, it made sense for her to change away from being the replacement. She's been here for a while, and for me, especially with the medic playbook being released, made sense for her to shift over there. So in the time that we last saw her, she started doing some very basic medic training, and she has also joined the Canadian Army Medical Corps, or CAMHC. So that's kind of a shift for her, but she's also just very sad, as one would expect from someone who.
Yes, there was a recent tweet that was put out that was just sort of your summation of very, very sad, which in terms of how her attitude has shifted in the war. Man, that's just a big mood, huh?
Yeah.
So the new bonds, as the medic, are as follows. What are they actually?
The first one, there's only two bonds for the medic. First one being not everyone makes it out alive. Despite my best efforts, I was unable to save blank, and blank resents me for it, and I'll have to earn their respect. And then I got a custom bond that I got to make, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, we're writing in some new bonds for the medic.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I really like the dual bond ones. They're always really fun.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, I'll figure that out as to who, because I don't want antagonism between Rose and Estella anymore.
Not again.
Maybe you just weren't able to save Carl.
Oh.
And then maybe I resent you because now I have to be in this position.
Yeah,
because you couldn't save someone, and then I could be next.
Yeah, you didn't want to go to the Somme. You didn't want any sort of conflict, and it's like, holy crap! I'm actually in the war because one person died. And you're the one that didn't save him?
I just wanted to run mail. That's all I wanted to do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love that. I think that's really good.
Good. All right. So Estella, hi. Been a while since we've seen you. What's changed? How you doing? How you feeling?
I mean, the things that have changed, I think we've talked about it a little bit. Like, it's been a few years. I wonder how much, like, we had the Scrounger has to have a special project going on at all times, and we kept saying, like, she kept trying to make a food garden out of, like, the mud. Like, she kept trying to grow anything, and, like, this is not
nutritious substance. Like,
Yeah, because we're so dependent on like rations and stuff, and it's also just the the distraction of having a project and stuff like that. But the idea of like, hey, maybe I can like do this thing and also provide some sort of fresh sustenance. But I think over the 2 years we've made edible things, I can count on one hand the amount of times we've made anything. Even like I'm talking like cherry tomato sized. I'm talking like, like
but I imagine there's sort of like there was one thing that you tried to do, and as soon as you found like a pot of like serviceable size, you literally just tried no matter what to get that thing growing, and it did, and that's when you were called away to.
What if you were like growing something inside an empty artillery shell?
Oh, even better.
And it's just like, and it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
So I don't know what exactly you'd be growing, but you'd be growing it, and I would say that it's been like something you've carried with you.
Eat literally seeds. Either just some sort of small edible, like, or even just herbs to like season the terrible food. Like
That's
literally,
great.
You know what I mean?
Some
like basil or like
They're all weeds, so like mint. Like they
exactly,
grow easy in a sense that
they grow in arid environments, so it's one of the few things that would grow. So that's what we're going for. Is that
everything's basil-y.
Yeah.
That would be so great. Did I tell y'all that I tried to cook a World War I meal while we were in quarantine?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
How did it go? Like quickly? Like
it sucked.
Was it edible? Okay.
It sucked. I didn't like it at all, and I made it fancier than it would have been in World War I because I had eggs.
Oh my god, that's so important. See, and that's why you all understand why I'm trying to grow us these herbs.
This is why, to tie it back in, this is why food is very important. Please support the Sage Community Food Bank.
Exactly. We're bringing it back to how important food is. But yeah, so my bonds, if we mentioned him at the beginning, so if he's still our battalion quartermaster, William Oliver Forrester manages to get me supplies sometimes, so I guess he's the one sneaking me seeds. Is what according to
hey, I got you some parsley seeds.
Yeah. Oh,
you got that shit? Yeah. Here's a little paper package. These ones are a mystery. I don't know what these ones are.
It's okay. I'll take it. Give it to me. I'll test it out and see what works. It's fine. So previously, my Carl had helped me with projects, but Carl's gone. So I guess. So I have Blank has helped me with projects. Actually, this could be Rose now. Rose has helped me with projects in the past, and now I owe them a favor. It was Carl, but bye, Carl. Sorry, Carl.
We can all resent
Carl.
Rose for that.
Yeah, and then I had my negative one with Rose had been I've seen Rose be wasteful with our supplies. If I see it again, I'm gonna bring it up, because obviously as a Scrounger, I'm very picky about like what we do with our resources. Okay. So that's very offensive to me if someone wastes resources.
Do you want to change that given your new?
That one's not Rose anymore. That cannot be Rose anymore.
That cannot be Rose anymore. It is.
I just want to be clear.
So, given the bonds that you've sort of shared with each other, are there any that you're kind of seeing some connections, some kind of connective tissue, or kind of pull out of thin air?
I'm gonna have my custom one be directly related to Estella, which is probably just saying that like we've been through shit together, and we understand each other.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not as antagonistic towards each other because you need to survive. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you can't. Like, we specifically went through that one super traumatic event, and now we've been working together for 2 years. So even if we're not like pals, we'd at least be civil by this point.
And we understand each other now.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
had 2 years worth of really traumatic shit to deal with.
Yep.
What a surprise. Changes a few things. Jeremiah, Danny, anything y'all got sort of brewing?
I think Rose has done something to inspire me, probably to save like a life really dramatically. Rose, can you tell me a time, like, what was the most dramatic save or like surgery or operation you've ever performed?
She absolutely would have like gone back to drag someone back with her. Like if someone fell, like, and she would have been like, nope, we're going back and we'll bring them with. So
yeah, I personally imagine it as like the first kind of foolhardy gesture, but I imagine that as something that happened very recently, like within the past week. where it's like, Jeremiah, you cannot get this kind of vision of Rose,
Also, Rose is very young and she's small, so it probably wasn't expected of her to do that. So that's another thing.
But she did. So yeah, I imagine that is something that's like, oh wow, I cannot get this sort of vision out of my head.
Very inspired. I've been painting your likeness on my.
What are you painting?
What's the
with?
new word? Putties.
You're painting on your leg coverings?
Yep.
That's dope.
Specifically Rose's likeness. Or what you can assume. What you can assume, like, because
Could be a blotch, could be a face.
It's definitely
art.
like the Rose doesn't want to bring it up because she doesn't want to seem conceited.
And hopefully the mud might cover it up so you don't have to see it.
Yeah, she's just like, I can't tell. That sort of looks like me, but I don't want to look like an asshole and assume it. So
It's on both legs.
If you stand at attention with your legs close together, it looks like a full picture.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, but it's definitely like Rose stares a lot. I think.
at Jeremiah's knees, just
Up my knees.
like, wait a minute.
That's amazing.
Very nice. I love that. That's a brilliant angle. Anything else?
I think Estella has seen me make a critical error.
Oh no.
I don't know if I'm opening myself up to something horrible.
No, it's fair. Like we were.
You don't have to be. That doesn't mean you have to be mean to me,
No.
right?
Okay.
Me working extra hard to prove myself doesn't necessarily mean you have to bully me. I mean, you can, and I will cry, but that will cause drama on the battlefield. I don't know if the Germans want to hear the Canadians weeping.
I'm pretty sure there are a few that would probably be very happy with that. But it's also sort of the mitigating thing, because Rose, now you and Rose are sort of on even footing. So now you see, oh, okay, yes, you made an error. I don't have to haze you.
But don't I though?
Your decision to make. We'll see how it plays out.
It's not. Listen, Jess would never do this, but Estella.
Estella can be real mean to Danny. Jess would never be mean to Daniel.
It's only two replacements that she needs.
Never.
Clear distinction.
Clear distinction. So that's that. Jeremiah, I think you have
Yeah.
a couple.
Perhaps Danny and I knew each other from home.
Okay.
You helped me acquire some materials for my art. What do we think other than lead-ridden acrylic paint? Like
I would think,
paintbrushes?
maybe
Brushes,
some
you could- we could-
canvas.
We could have made you brushes using horsehair.
Yes. Okay. I
From
like
your
that.
pony.
With your pony.
From our pony.
From my pony. So it's now canon that I have a pony. Can I make a pony my bond? So can I say that my pony, Will, gave me a hand when I first joined the section because the pony brought me to the section? I owe the pony.
You owe the pony, Will.
Before
Jason, are you okay with this?
For some context, before stream, there was the possibility raised of bringing a pony on board. I've wrought this on myself. Don't
Possibility.
repeat my mistakes.
Like it wasn't set in stone.
Yeah.
I'm writing this down.
It's
It's
all
it's
new.
on my character sheet.
We all knew. Like, there was...
Everyone but me understand this.
If you kill my pony, I will rage. I will
I mean-
rage.
Well, I mean, what matters more, your wristband or your pony?
Pony.
Oh, we're gonna do this.
I'll die for
You're playing the
pony.
game like we wrote it. Okay.
Oh.
It's a
Rules as
wonderfully
written.
written game, I must say. I take inspiration from it every day. Arts and crafts with Jeremiah and Danny, wonderful, wonderful. And then that leaves.
I'm sorry, Estella. I know you didn't want to be mean, but you don't
Damn it!
believe that my art has a place on the front lines.
I
don't
love
know
that
what
one.
it is.
Is that? Oh wow. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So what was it? I think your art has no place on the front lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Scrounger is more pragmatic and the creative is.
Yeah, I
is
could see
like-
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm wasting my time in my.
If it's anything, I think Rose will be there to help temper Estella's.
It's just canon. I'm so mean to everyone.
Yeah, why not? Look, the war has done
God.
things to you. You've
Yeah.
seen
Stella,
shit.
you are under constant stress. You are trying to get everything, and here comes Jeremiah finger painting on your artillery shells. It's like
Yeah.
that renders them useless. You understand that lead gets in the soil, right?
They look nice.
Ooh, yeah. You're
Yeah, that's-
poisoning my plants.
But look at the art.
Yeah, but
I'd
look at the
rather
art.
look at my plants growing.
Oh, they grow. So you don't even see them grow. If you watch the plant grow, nothing happens.
You can't look at art if you're dead. Is what I feel like what Estella would say.
You're dead.
So, Jess, I'm so sorry that you're having to be mean again.
This is
Are you?
apparently what I do on this channel. Like-
We'll come back and do some really cutesy game, and you don't have to be mean.
And she will still have to play the mean out of the bunch.
Only on this channel.
Only on this channel. The thing is, you're such a this whole group is full to the brim with sweethearts, so it's like.
So it has. You know what? It's only fair. It's fine. I get to be a sweet bean elsewhere.
Like,
So
what
I
you're
have to-
saying is that Ross Rifles brings out the darker side in people.
Yeah, what a surprise! I don't know. It's suddenly dealing with World War One. At any rate,
I've got a bond actually because I don't have a bond with Rose yet.
Mm.
So I have one. Blank is teaching me how to blank so that I can be a more effective member of the section. So I'm gonna say that Rose is teaching me how to triage,
Ooh.
so I can be a more effective member of the section. Because I feel like maybe Rose has seen a lot of soldiers in their training. I just caught a moth with my bare hands. Okay.
Skills.
Weird flex, but
Wow.
okay.
Okay. You know what? I might not just be the replacement. I'm also a level 5 monk.
Okay, go ahead.
I think Rose has seen a lot of soldiers kind of waste their time trying to save people who cannot be saved. And so with the new person, they're like, okay, no more fucking around. You are going to save only those who can be saved. And you're showing me which injuries can't be, unfortunately fixed.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that the same moment that Jeremiah witnessed was sort of an interaction between you and Danny, Rose, where it was like, we can save that person. It's gonna suck getting them here, but we can save them. And
Yeah.
that was just the executive decision that you made against all previous advice. Like, don't take risks. We just have to do our job. And it's like, no, I can save this one.
There was very little you could have done anyways in World War One.
Oh yeah, no, it was
Yeah.
at that time. Yeah, you could get them off the battlefield.
That's it. Who to drag?
Yeah.
So I had assumed like the role that the bond that I had Rose in last time, I had assumed that it was going to be Danny, but it sounds like it's Jeremiah now. So it's I've seen Jeremiah be wasteful with our supplies. And if I see it again, it's definitely
That's Jeremiah. It's gotta be.
that's Jeremiah. Jeremiah's like, oh, this is perfect for art. We
This will
need
work
that
really
now.
well. Yeah.
I love it.
Just imagine, like, constantly there are just things shifting around the section where it's like
Yeah.
they
Sometimes
have
I'm just
practical
moving
work,
them. Sometimes they go missing. I don't know.
Yeah.
and it's just all right.
Where did
Bonds
the
all set?
bucket go?
It's on top of a
Oh,
sculpture.
last week, what the hell? All right, bonds all set aside. Everything all sort of sussed out on everybody's end.
Mhm.
All right. So, with a good idea of everybody going forward, I suppose it would be best to get into the game and enter into United in a Common Cause, Prelude to the Song. Dear Mabel, we've had 2 very exciting days. The Germans sent forth an attacking party. Our rifle and machine gun fire prevented them from entering any part of the trench. All the Germans were killed. The dead Germans in our lines were a fine-looking lot and are in quite new uniforms. Ever thine, Agar. Major Agar Adelson of the Prince's Pass, writing home to his wife on his experiences within Sanctuary Wood, spring of 1916. Along the Ypres salient, in the June of that same year, where we make our scene, there are only 2 heights, patches of high ground which allow for strategically superior positioning, under Allied control: Mont Sorel and Tortop. Along this 2-kilometer stretch are stationed 2 divisions of the Canadian Forces, the 1st Corps, which mostly consists of veteran remnants of the CEF, and the 3rd Corps, which mostly consists of the most green of new arrivals to Europe. Both are under the command of Lieutenant General Julian Bing, who was appointed on May 28th, succeeding the established Lieutenant General Sir Edwin Alderson, who had some months before led the first into disaster at St. Eloy. Rose and Estella, you bore witness to these events, to the craters that were formed by artillery fire, and the casualties suffered. For such noble service, Adelson was rewarded with a position as Inspector General of Canadian Forces in England, and called away from the front. Days later, on the morning of June 2nd, the German army launched an offensive aimed at clawing this stretch of dirt from your hands. And so they did, killing Major General Malcolm Mercer, commander of the 3rd Division, Jeremiah and Danny, a figure you are eminently familiar with, or were, and taking his second in command as prisoner in the process. Fumbling counterattack after fumbling counterattack was executed until a week ago to the day, when after 10 hours of continuous artillery fire, you broke through the German lines and gave them what for. You can still hear the shelling at times when you close your eyes and steal some sleep for yourself, but hell, what else is new? Well, we're supposed to be getting Lee Enfield soon. Thank fuck for that, huh? A veteran in another section spits in the still of the evening. They're hushed quite rudely by their section mates, as there seems to be movement in the trenches. 3 figures make their way down the line. A quartermaster, a replacement, and his pony. So, this is the first we see of Danny Moon. Private Moon, you have been told by a sergeant in the 1st Division, Sergeant Josephs, to retrieve your section mates, who obviously you've met and sort of fraternized and fought with. The ones that come currently to your head are Sergeant Hardings and Private Jones, Private Jeremiah Jones. The quartermaster, who is going along the line with your pony, has laid in it with messenger bags and whatnot, and is handing out mail, as it were, taking a few sparing glances to you. So whereabouts you from, friend?
Kamloops, BC.
BC, got a lot of friends in BC. Well, had a lot of friends in BC. Got some anti-war types out there.
Got some anti-war types here.
No, we don't. It's perfectly fine. Served for long?
Brand new, just fresh.
Is that silver? And he sort of looks to your wrist.
I'm
the
gonna
gleam of the wristband.
adjust my sleeve. Yeah, silver.
Got a crate of whiskey for you.
I'm gonna look and be like, it's all good.
Ooh,
It's all
hard
good.
bargain. 2 crates. And he kind of jokes as he hands off the mail, and your pony neighs, very reassuringly.
Oh, easy there, Will.
Kind
No,
of bucks
I
in the
think
trenches.
I don't think Will can carry any more. Those crates, too heavy. I'll stick with my silver.
All right, shit. No offending by it, I hope. And he saddles up the messenger bag on his shoulder, relieving Will a little bit as it's now empty. And coming to your section, Jeremiah, you have you've spent the last week sort of recovering from what exactly has been going on. Your sergeant is kind of in a little bit of a state in terms of their kind of general demeanor. It's kind of hard to get much out of him some days.
Okay.
You haven't given a proper examination of it, but you can do so, but as you see the three figures, excuse me, trundle on ahead, there are two within this section, Jeremiah, yourself, and one who is slumped in a corner and resting his head, Sergeant Holderman. One is wide awake and by candlelight can be seen doing what exactly, Jeremiah?
What am I doing by candlelight?
Yes,
I'm drawing on the walls.
Oh, drawing on the walls.
I'm not using my acrylic though. I am using any like natural substances that are probably not for artistic purposes.
Natural
like
substances, not
wax. Maybe just like dripping wax onto the wall. These are like really necessary candles from the emergency supply.
Yeah.
But I really had this inspiration to do a wax piece on the wall too. So like there's a bunch of chairs that have been pushed up against the wall so I can stand on them every now and then to drip wax on the wall.
Sure.
I've been at it for a little bit.
Yeah, and I'll say that there's a mixture of like red and white that you've been able to kind of finagle. Estella has attitudes about this, but she's not here right now, so.
How patriotic, that red and white.
How patriotic indeed. And Quartermaster Forrester actually remarks on it. Think you can make a maple leaf out of that?
I can make something. Just give me a little bit, The wax, it needs time, has to be softened.
I think that's what the fire's for.
Yeah. For more wax.
Anyway, Sergeant Holderman. No response. Holderman? Ah, shit. You see Forcer throw out the messenger bag. Moon, get Jones and just get on back to the medical tents. I'm sure that Sergeant Joseph.
Wait, what's wrong with them?
You actually see him sort of kneel down. If you'd like to try and make a roll to, figure out what exactly is going on, I fully
What do I do?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, the moves that are available to y'all are.
Can I just ask around?
Yeah, you can totally ask around if you would like to find out more about the situation that Holderman has been under. If you want to really look at what he's kind of at, you could do probably scan the horizon, I'd say, if you want.
I could do that, or I could work while at rest. I'm going to ask around, mostly because I feel like Moon doesn't really know much about the war. I think Daniel knows what's happening, but Moon does not.
Perfectly fine.
So I got a 7.
7.
Something is demanded in return.
Okay.
So wait, what's going on with them? I know you're asking me to go, but what's wrong with them?
As you actually crest over and probably like come to Forrester's shoulder, you see him peel back what is undoubtedly a putrefying wound along along what seems to be his femur. Some sort of shrapnel seems to have embedded itself and has not been treated, or has been treated and in very haphazard fashion has not been dressed or anything. And immediately you see Forrester kind of, something from the medical tents. Please, for the love of God, get something from the medical tents. Covers back. He cuts away the infected cloth and like gets some clean handkerchiefs and tries his best to address the wound.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to put some wax on it?
I'm gonna take Jeremiah and we're just gonna take a step back and I'm gonna turn. Let's go to the medical tent.
Okay.
Quickly, if you can.
I'm gonna start running. I'm gonna be pulling Jeremiah with me and the pony in my other hand, and we're gonna be going to this medical tent.
You see him just sort of whispering reassurances. Sergeant Hardings is not in the best of states, but as Rose, you are keenly aware, there are a lot of men who, within the last week, have had similar times. The medical tent itself is established um, probably like a kilometer solidly behind the line itself. It would be a little bit of a walk if you didn't have any sort of vehicular support. You can totally try and flag down like a truck that's going back.
If it's that far, I don't think.
Probably not a kilometer, but like.
We have to meet up. We have to meet up with everyone else too, right?
Yeah, it's pretty difficult. So I'll say, let's say,
100 feet.
yeah, a couple hundred.
That's gonna be far in this.
Yeah, that's still.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Jeremiah, I think we just meet up with the rest of the section. Looks like this guy's going west.
I'll paint his likeness in. What's the nearest surface to me?
Perhaps the saddle on, or maybe you're painting on the pony.
Yeah.
I love the pony too much to do that. It'll be the saddle.
Admiring the art.
So you're gonna sit on your sergeant's face from now on. Gotcha.
Yep. Remember, every time you sit on top of the pony, it's just Sergeant Harding's.
Yeah. Oh God, I had to give him that name. Anyway, Rose. As you are amidst this medical tent, excuse me, your sergeant has been having some hushed discussions with Estella, sort of off outside of the tent. What are you doing in terms of treating the injured and sick that are sort of on the front lines or coming back to the front lines?
Yeah. She does have fairly minimal official training, and so I think that she has to, like, obviously she does have skills, but she ends up having to tail somebody in the tent pretty often because they won't let her do stuff by herself right now. Like, it's kind of like you get lucky on the field, like you're fine with that, but when you're here, you're not in charge. So she's pretty like having to follow around people and still technically in training underneath the CMAC.
Yeah, I'll say that there's a more veteran officer who seems to be an older gentleman, probably a surgeon back home, who's tending to a particularly grisly wound, sewing it up and making sure that it's to his specifications, as it were. You're more of an assistant in this, so could you roll either your medical training or aid and obstruct, whichever you want to sort of feel called to?
Yeah, I mean, I have field medicine, so
Go ahead.
that's a move I've got. Which that's a 6.
And
Great start.
Please read off what that does for.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see.
And if it's on an NPC.
Yeah. Cool. When I use my medical train to help a soldier, I didn't succeed, so on a 6, I mark an additional harm on the person. That's fine. It's cool.
It was that one moment of trust that the surgeon himself kind of chastises himself for, because he set you on a wound that seemed to be pretty minimal. Turns out it was a hell of a lot deeper than you thought it was, and unfortunately, the man had gone from probably losing a foot to most definitely losing at least one. The surgeon kind of takes a very deep breath, pushes you out of the way, and begins to address what exactly now needs to be done. Wordlessly, he does not say anything to you.
Cool. Love that. As soon as that happens, I think she's just gonna excuse herself and head out of the tent and go find Estella.
Estella, you are with Sergeant Joseph's, sun-drenched and kind of like stressed as ever. He's abandoned trying to give off this air of austerity. He's very much now much looser, but no less hard, especially as he kind of addresses you. I understand that Private Jones is, of course, want to use equipment in ways that perhaps you disagree with, but you must bring that behavior to the attention of their sergeant, not mine. I'm not responsible for anybody in the third division's discipline or use of resources.
Just make them stop wasting stuff. That's it. Like,
Just
that's
nod. That's all you need to do. He pauses and apologies. Please describe the situation again.
You know, candles with which we used to see and stay warm, perhaps?
All right, I'll let that one slide. Yes, I know.
They're using those for art? How is that even? They're dripping it on stuff. How is that art?
Is it hurting anyone?
The people who want to be able to see things at night, yeah.
Lord Jesus, help me. And you actually see him kind of rub his hands together, trying to get a word in edgewise before Rose, you come onto the scene.
I might have come at a bad time, huh? I can just...
You're good. You're fine.
Great, cool. Sorry, I just needed some time away from the medical tent. Is there anything that I can do to help? Maybe?
Well, given that I've received orders, he kind of just pinches the bridge of his nose and scratches at his forehead. You're going to have to take on a joint operation. Would that Carl was here to assist, given the nature of it, but once the rest of your section meanders over here, I'm sure I can give you a full overview. How are you holding up? And he kind of like looks to both of you, honestly.
I look at Rose.
Rose looks at
It's-
Stella.
Yeah, it looks for Stella for a second. It's going. I think it's the best way I'm going to put it.
That's what I know I'm going to put it, I guess. Forrester still have those crates of whiskey?
You know, I want to say no.
Private Silver.
Oh, that is my connection who gives me stuff, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh.
And as far as you know, he's
I
got-
mean, there might be whiskey, but it'd be hard to see it because there are no candles with which to see things. So, I don't know. I might not be able to find it.
He kind of laughs he cannot help but laugh. It's sort of a laugh to keep from crying kind of situation. Jeremiah, Danny, this is sort of the scene that you come upon with Will in tow. Actually,
I was about to say, don't forget about Will.
trying desperately not to.
In Jeremiah's hand is one pristine candle that as soon as they arrive, just like haphazardly, they just decide to snap it and pull the wick out.
Sorry.
Do I have to stand to attention?
At ease.
Thank you.
And I just imagine Estella is giving a death glare at this point.
Yeah. Estella just looks at Jeremiah and then looks back over At the captain who was just asking for whiskey.
Great. Fantastic to have such a meeting of the minds here. All right.
It's okay, Will.
Oh.
Right at noon.
Everyone likes Will.
Yes?
I notice an absence in your current roster. I believe that the entirety of your section was called. Where's Sergeant Hardings?
Hardings took a piece of shrapnel to the foot. And might be going home.
Mm-hmm.
In a box.
No, I know what going home means, believe me. Probably
Okay.
better than you do. Oh, God.
Yeah. Took a piece of shrapnel to the foot. Does not look good.
Mm-mm. Smells even worse. I mean,
So it looks like it's just us. Just Jeremiah and I.
Fine.
Will.
And Will. Yes, and Will.
Definitely the most useful of a bunch.
I'm gonna ignore that. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
Oh, Jeremiah thought it was a compliment.
Sergeant, more details on what you need all of us for?
Let's walk and talk. And he sort of begins marching off. Estimates of casualties from Mont Sorel are coming in, numbering in around 6,000 to 7,000 at the current moment from our core. Obviously, that's a hell of a lot more than we wanted, but good news is we've returned to the original line. Germans have stopped all sort of bungling activity to try and take it back. Just kind of learn after the first two. Well, you're supposed to, at least. He takes a very deep breath, and we have had several reports of, well, look, Command thinks there might be some missing persons out in the Sanctuary Wood. It's just north of here. It's heavily wooded, not much suspected enemy activity, especially since it's behind our line now. Could be a couple of stragglers, could be a deserter, but one of the most likely squadrons that they believe went missing was was at one point accompanying General Mercer. Obviously, these are high-value assets. They're headed up by a captain by the name of Jordan Reeves, along with a few privates and lance corporals, Peter Gould, Rodrigo Silva, and Joel Kettering. More than likely, this is a wild goose chase born from people who want to get away from the front lines. But Command has given these inane ramblings enough thought to send somebody on it. And given your expertise with the CEF, he motions to Rose and Estella, and given your availability, he points to Jeremiah and Danny, you were first on the list.
So the four of us are to find a missing section?
It's meant to be the five of you, but yes. Well, 6. God. Is he kind of...
Carl's dead.
Yeah. It really is kind of hitting him. Rose, Estella, you kind of get the sense that the sergeant, having made Carl a lance corporal, kind of thought that he was on his way to something bigger. But as it stands, you have a couple of hours. Nightfall will be coming soon, so shouldn't have to worry about our lovely neighbors beyond the trench. Get yourself together, and I'll see if I can't get Harding something.
I have some wax.
Yes, you do.
Would that help?
And as I hear it, you've been using it in some supremely creative ways.
Oh, yes, thank you. I mean, It's in the impression of a Canadian flag. It's quite glorious.
I'm sure that it is. I would heavily advise you to ensure that your artwork and creativity does not short supply us.
Yeah.
A few candles here and there make more than a few bundles.
I mean, I didn't count, so it couldn't have been that many.
Keep an accurate record, please. If you could.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. And he pats Estella on the shoulder and whispers, "That better be worth a goddamn shot before going into the medical tent." Suddenly very distracted, as it were, with Harding's condition. The rest of you have been given a couple of hours. It's probably around 7 o'clock right now. Nightfall properly will come in that few hours. Is there anything you would like to do? Anybody you'd like to chat up or touch base with to try and figure out what exactly is happening? Anything you'd just like to get done, as it were?
I'd like to know what our approach is going to be. I mean, we've been tasked with finding a missing section. What are our leads? Are we just to wander through the forest aimlessly?
I will say that Sergeant Josephs does return with a dossier and a few medical supplies that he will personally run down to the line. The dossier contains information in a quadrant familiar to Rose and Estella, much more accurate than you had received, as well as a picture from RAF intelligence, which seems to indicate the remnants of a campsite that is in sort of the southeasterly quadrant of the forest. So they extrapolate that within a reasonable radius, there could be persons, either deserters or simply missing persons, who are camping out in that particular space.
Okay.
Since Danny got that like official documentation and stuff, can I use ask around to try and see if there's any rumors, like as opposed to like, you know, there's like the official viewpoint and then there's like what the people are saying about it.
Right on the ground, yeah. Sure. Anybody else can also engage in that same activity if that's what they kind of want to do. I'll say that you've got probably about like 3 to 4 moves within that time frame to kind of play around with.
I think that Danny's too new to know anybody, so I'll abstain from rolling this.
There are actually a couple of soldiers, especially in the med tent, who swear they're hallucinating because they see a pony just sort of straight up standing outside of the tent.
Oh no, the pony should be inside the tent. The pony deserves shelter.
I am so sorry. Yes.
Yes.
There is a pony inside the tent. Like some of them swear that there's like a lack of blood going to their brain or something, and they try desperately to ignore it. There is a pony.
Sergeant Will is very much real.
There is a pony in this medical tent.
Yeah, and he's the best of us. What's your point?
Right.
Private Mulaney with that one. Anything else? Estella, what did you get for your ask around?
I rolled a 9, which means, according to the sheet, it means I get information, but something is demanded of me in return.
Okay, awesome. I'll say that you, given your connections established during the first game in United in a Common Cause, you do remember coming across a sizable amount of money and a certain farmer that was perhaps not all that he seemed. You found out later that he was definitely not all that he seemed and was deeply entrenched with what seemed to be sort of a smuggling ring that was going around. There is a contact within the medical tent. He did not suffer a blighty. It seems that he has some sort of fracture along his shin or whatnot, but he's in a vulnerable enough position for you to kind of like sit down with him and talk. he's very reluctant, given your connections and especially, your military. Like, yeah, you're cool, but you also stole from people. Like, that's a no-no. But as it stands, he basically says that, look, everybody is on edge here. Okay? For all I know, those could be fucking ghosts that are in those woods.
That's what you said about the farmhouses.
Yeah, because
Wait,
it's
there were
easy to
ghosts in
say.
farmhouses?
Yeah, everyone was saying they were haunted. They were haunted
Okay.
with Germans. Anyways.
Oh,
Look,
Fritzies.
far as I know, there's not a damn thing that you have to worry about except for a few missing persons. And now, I will say this. Don't know if they're all Canadian. So just tread lightly. And maybe keep your rifle in your hands. I mean, we got Lee Enfields now, so.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Oh, and by the way, I must say that my section in particular has a little bit of hankering for oregano. I hear that you have a lovely 20mm shell full of this stuff.
I have been working on that for a long time.
Ah, yes,
Got
you
it.
have.
You don't have anything a little spicier to give me than that there's a mix and match of folks in the forest.
Kind of pauses. Keep your head down. That's the best advice that I can give you. And the only reason I can give you that advice is because it's not so much a mix and match. People have it in their heads that there's a little bit of cat and mouse going around. And that the cats are very, very into those German uniforms. Well, there's a reason it's just one cat and several mice. So,
Yeah,
oregano.
I'm not gonna be needing it where I'm going anywhere. It's fine. I'll get you the shell.
You sure?
Yeah, I got others growing. It's okay.
To know, and he kind of calls out and leans back.
I'm just imagining this like a beautiful, shiny, polished shell with like a tiny little oregano growing out of
Yeah,
it.
there's
The
not.
teeniest-
Absolutely pathetic.
It's like this, like a
It's-
Wall-E sort of scenario right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not much, but God, it makes food taste like something.
Yeah. It's barely past the sprouting phase. Like, it's barely, like, past its little epiflorets. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know Estella was a botanist.
oh, technically her background was she was a fisherman, wasn't she? Well,
I mean, you had
No,
to grow herbs
that's
to
just
put on
Danny
the fish,
being very.
right?
That's just Danny being very impressed by your vocabulary.
listen, when you got nothing else to do with your time but be shot at and grow things.
Do you think you have like a little gardening handbook or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, my
absolutely.
god.
I
And
figure.
it's so dirty and there's like pages missing and like, you know.
What do I
it's-
do next?
Yeah.
Well,
No, the next page is just completely gone.
Do I water it? How frequently?
Yeah, I
Well-
imagine. Yeah.
Trial and error learning at that point.
Jeremiah, Rose, is there anything that y'all are wanting to sort of wrap up before you head to Sanctuary?
Well, I mean, I don't think so, but there was a move that I was peeking at.
Yep.
Where did I put it? Work while at rest. When you prepare for your mission, state what you're gonna do and roll with the attribute to see your best fit.
Okay.
I want to do something to prepare. Mostly just see what I can scrounge up that I'm probably not supposed to take.
Okay, I'll say that you can bring You could probably bring along some medical supplies or something to help with camouflage. Now that you've
Paint
been
up our faces.
yeah,
What's green? Wait, are we going? Yeah, we're going into a forest.
Mud. You could use some mud. I'm sure we could like glue some sort of like branches to our bodies, or
Okay, can I take glue? That sounds
yeah,
safe.
we
that might
could
be
tie them.
I mean,
I want
roll.
glue.
Well, roll for it, and we'll see
Okay.
how you do.
What ability are you going to use for this one?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. This is artistic, so
So it could be
Yeah.
wit. It could be eye.
I would say wit in this case.
I'll lean towards wit since that's my best.
So I guess we'll go ahead and go with wit, huh?
10.
Unmitigated success, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that what that means?
I want to know what this camouflage looks like.
It basically means that there's no complications, that you are able to execute it perfectly. That you are able to construct this camouflage, and yeah, what does it look like?
Well, I imagine glue during this time was like where you have like a giant jar and like a stick.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
it's not such thing as like squeegees or anything like precise. So with my nicely tattered up uniform, I just like slather it in glue and start to like toss on some sand, toss on some leaves, toss on some twigs, and I do it to the rest of myself. And it's like a passe ghillie suit, but not as it's a crappy off-brand version.
Nice.
It's a ghillie with 2 E's, or
Yeah.
a ghillie suit. You have to sort of scratch at the surface of it. Do you do this for the other squad mates? Or,
Do they let me? I
Do they
offer.
let you? That's a good idea.
I mean, did you make one for Bill? I mean, Will.
Will?
Sorry.
For
Did you make
Will?
one for
Well, I started to like half of Will's saddle is like the side of it's covered in twigs and stuff, and then I was like, oh, I should ask.
Huh. I mean, I'm okay with that because I'm expecting some camouflage as well.
Oh, good. Okay. Then I
'Cause I'm
carry.
I'm fresh faced. I'm brand new. I'm like,
Mhm.
this is a stealth mission. I'm gonna need some camouflage.
Huh?
Oh, Jeremiah, you're a camouflage expert? Of course. I don't know
got
if you're an
you.
artist. I just think you're a camouflage expert at this point.
Mhm.
I'm naive.
You have no reason to believe otherwise.
Exactly.
It's more convincing than Peter Malark. Anyway,
I think the only downfall is I know I got a 10, but like, Danny, I'm sorry I got some glue in your hair.
oh yeah, no, that it just comes with the territory. These are not precise tools that you're working with.
I
Rose,
was very
Estella?
careful with Will though. Will has no glue in his
Oh
hair.
yeah.
Oh,
It's like the mane or the what is that
perfect.
called? I don't know what that part of the horse is
That's a
called.
mane.
The hair, the mane.
Man, yeah.
We put twigs in there, but we didn't glue them.
no.
Well, they just fit.
Yep.
Yeah, they kind of just like the coarseness of the main wood.
Holds it in. Yeah.
Again, viewers, I cannot stress this enough. I did not plan for a pony in this at all.
It's
Um,
important.
It is.
Boosts
Rose,
morale.
Rose, oh, God. That's a really good question.
I approach it with like twigs attached to myself under my arm and like my messy tube of like dripping glue everywhere. It's kind of stuck to my hand. It
Yeah.
hasn't really left my hand in an hour, so it's definitely stuck there.
Danny and the pony are standing right behind, just decked out,
Yes.
ready to go.
if people thought they were hallucinating before,
These poor sick folk.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
If somebody's injured, Will be able to carry them back. This is an important part of the mission.
Yeah. I feel like I should be, maybe look like a person, because I'm a medic, and I'm pretty sure that if they were injured, I might, freak someone out if I just went up to them and I looked like
A tree?
a
Camouflage?
tree.
Yeah.
We can't say ents because they haven't been made yet.
Not yet.
Well, Tolkien
after,
was
right
in this.
after this,
Well,
immediately.
Tolkien was in this war and fought in
Yeah.
the Somme and was wounded in the Somme.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Oh, so we just need to
But-
stop there, read what he's working on.
Any of his journal notes.
I know you just
cool.
lost all. I know you just lost all of your friends, but hey, what's that book you're writing?
read? Yeah, thanks.
do you need some proofreaders?
Need some proofreaders.
So Rose is refusing, as far as I can tell, camouflage at this point.
Yep. Yes.
This is supposed to be our leader, Jeremiah.
Yeah, we defer to Rose, I think. I always have.
Okay,
They're
wha-
really
wha-
cool. Have you seen, I'm gonna show you my Huddies. The word's not in my brain yet. I'm still learning it.
It's not a word that everyone uses. Makes sense.
Exactly. I'm getting
Not
there.
at all.
And I'll lift a leg and I'll show you their likeness on my knee. And then I'll like put my legs together and like it makes their face perfectly like this.
And I'll look and
You're
be like,
inspirational.
it's uncanny.
Right?
I'm gonna look at your knees, and then look at Rose, and then back and forth, back and forth.
Roll wit.
Me?
Jeremiah? No.
Oh no.
Roll wit.
6, 7, 8, 9. 9.
It's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect. And it's, you know what? But I mean, reasonably, it could be assumed. You're now in the same position where it's like, if Jeremiah did not tell you, you would not want to say it was Rose, because then it would be like, wait a minute.
Okay, so you can tell that that's kind of their likeness, but at the same time, like a little bit of mud smeared on one side too. Like we've got twigs and leaves glued to myself. I've lacquered it though. Very important. Lacquered it with glue.
Amazing.
Amazing. Rose, is there anything else? Or is there anything else that you would want to sort of?
Did Estella say yes?
Oh no, that's right.
Did you
This-
ask
this
me?
is- this is-
Like,
this is- This is very practical. So
that's what I'm thinking. It's actually fairly practical. It's actually a practical use of your artistic skills.
Yeah.
As far
want
as like
some
Estella is concerned, like this
camo?
is like
I've got so many more sticks. I am running out of glue, but if I just like add some mud to it, mix it up, it really works, you know?
it'll dry and harden. It makes sense.
I wish this is okay. You know what? Yeah, okay.
Cool. Stay still, arms up, hold your breath. My little like plaster tool to start lathering it on and like sprinkling sand and leaves, attaching the odd stick. Maybe I'll make Danny like hold a stick on because you have to wait like 30 seconds before it really sets. It's a process.
I want to know what Rose is thinking during this entire endeavor.
That's a good
I
question.
think
Estella is shaking her head while this is happening.
Yeah,
'cause
I
it's such this like, yes, it's practical, but also like
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's watching Estella's expression, and she'll just casually take out one of her cigarettes, strikes a match, and hand it over to Estella.
A part of me also just kind of
Gotcha.
wants to change my bond to be with Jeremiah is teaching me how to camouflage so I could be a more effective member of the section.
Go
You can
ahead.
learn multiple things.
Yeah, you're an eminently talented individual. There's
Yeah, so like Rose passes a cigarette to Estella in sympathy.
Well, is Estella holding her arms out like this, and then
Estella's
Rose puts the
holding one
cigarette
arm
in?
up and like
There
the
you
other
go.
one like, hang on, let me try and raise the elbow like this.
I'm working on like the back of your arm, putting some leaves there.
it's like actually holding the cigarette to your lips.
Rose
Yeah.
could be doing that
Just
too.
like I'll just like or I'll just put my mouth in it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's all right. Kitted out as you are, I'll say that the process of camouflaging leaves just one more round of actions if there's anything anybody wants to do or take care of. If not, however, I'll say that as you are on your way out, as night has now officially fallen and movement is permissible, at least so far from the lines, I will say that there are two individuals carrying, what seems to be a blanketed over body on a stretcher, and Sergeant Josephs is looking rather displeased, as it were.
Who is it?
You already know.
It's not Mercer, is it? Where's altering history?
He peels back the fresh corpse of Sergeant Harding's.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
Love of
well.
God, find those goddamn men, please.
I'm gonna make sure my putties are all good, thinking that they'll protect me from shrapnel.
It'll do you some good.
I'm not gonna say much else though.
Rose, Estella, please, for the love of God, don't make me bury anybody else from this section.
My job to try my best.
Yeah, and I mean, I think your artist here's got us covered. So,
Nobody's gonna see us.
What about Rose? Rose isn't wearing anything.
Oh, if she stands behind us, it's fine.
yeah.
We just like create a wall.
Okay.
I imagine that you're posing literally in front of Rose right now.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
My best
Doing
tree
your best.
impression.
Yeah.
Spirit of the troops is excellent. And you kind of just hear him grumble to himself as he goes back into the medical field. So, Sanctuary Woods, a little bit of a walk, probably about maybe an hour or so, to the southeast quadrant itself. Yeah. So I will say swiftly, you move yourselves along the line, departing at a certain point just south of Mount Montsorel itself, and begin to ascend into Sanctuary Woods. The view from here is so much different from the section that you are stationed at. Whereas you saw flat farmland from this angle, even in the blackness of night, you can note that there are sort of deviations that have been made through each individual section. And you still hear distant gunfire ringing out, and otherwise being sort of exchanged. It's strange hearing it so distant now, especially for Jeremiah and Danny. This is something you were embroiled in for 2 straight weeks, and now you have a moment to breathe. And
Yeah.
there's a cool night breeze that sweeps through the summer evening. Though it's hot and humid, there is at least some reprieve as you continue along toward your objective. I'm trying to remember if there's a specific move that would be tied perhaps with stealth. There is, isn't there?
Blend in.
Blend in, yes, that was it. So, I would like everyone to kind of make a blend in.
Do we have advantage?
Those who are camouflaged, I will say, gain a +1 to the roll.
Yay! If I do nothing else useful this whole game, I'm at least grateful for that +1 that I gave everyone except for Rose.
Rose just doesn't want to spook people when she has to go save them.
I mean, I get it.
I realized that I was muted. I got a 13. And I guess so did the pony.
Mm-hmm.
Hell
I got
yeah.
a 9.
Do I want to have Will roll separately?
Will
Oh.
survives everything.
I mean, that's up to you. I'll accept it, but just note that I'll judge you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to say, yeah, Will's going to have to roll separately.
You monster.
He does get a +1.
Oh, I didn't have my plus. Yes, I did.
Son of a bitch.
Uh-oh.
Can I give Will my +1?
Doesn't matter.
Stand in
Doesn't
front of Will.
it doesn't matter. I rolled a 3.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Will.
Man.
Why?
Just know that I'm judging you. You did this.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. You're cutting out all of a sudden.
He makes pony noises.
Stella, Jeremiah, and Rose, what did y'all get?
I got 9.
9.
And I got an 8.
Okay. I will say that it was really going well.
But
Danny,
you all chose to take a pony with you.
Look, I got a 13.
No.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Danny, you were moving at such an even pace. You were keeping a good hand on Will. All you needed the rest of them to do was just take Will while you just took a little scout ahead. You know, you wanted to be useful to the section. You wanted to go out, scout ahead. Rose, Jeremiah, Estella. Damn, it's hard to calm down a pony without its owner when it literally disappears into smoke.
No.
So yeah, I will say that most of Will, if not all of Will's camouflage has been destroyed as it bucks and whinnies and kind of snorts and in protest.
So am I just like this tree in the distance, be like, Will, it's okay, it's me.
And
Do you see me? Do you see me?
And it's making things worse.
I feel a little bad.
Yeah. So your camouflage is unaffected. Jeremiah, thank God you rolled a 10 on your sort of application. But you get the feeling that if somebody didn't know you were coming, they might know right now.
Brutal.
Will, come on, just chill. Come on, shh. I don't know what to do. Source is also carrying a lot of people's stuff, I think, like packs.
Yeah,
So like,
I'll probably say that a pack gets sort of spilled out onto the ground as well, because that's a 3. Like
That's a 3.
that's a 3. That's not good.
It was a bad roll.
Rose or anybody else, is there anything else that y'all would like to kind of do as Danny, you come back from your scouting ahead?
Well, I want to calm down. Will, it's okay.
Okay.
It's me, Danny.
Let's go with roll wit on that.
Oh, I have. Motherfucker. I rolled a 1 and a 2 again.
oh no.
And I have a +1 wit. It's a 4.
I will be merciful. I will be merciful and say you have a plus.
I'm okay. You know what? No. I'll accept the failure. What does the failure bring me? A hail of gunfire.
Much as that would be funny, no. I will say that to you specifically, take 1 harm or 1 wound, or 1 harm or 1 stress.
I think I'm gonna get kicked in the shins by my pony.
Yep.
By my mini horse.
And you know, ponies not necessarily the strongest beasts. They're still a hell of a lot stronger than humans. So as this kick is sort of sent out, I'll say that it catches in between that awkward joint between the shin and the knee.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, oh man, you kind of have to really take a breather after that one.
I feel that. But I managed to calm down Will.
Did your knee wraps do anything?
My putties didn't do anything.
Actually, they probably made the problem worse because those were a part of them was metal, and apparently it was sort of resting at that joint. So it kind of like,
oh no,
that would hurt even more.
Yeah. Took a little skin with it. It's not.
I still cherish our section's pony, our mascot. According to me, my mascot.
Of course. So, as your advance has been halted, given the current endeavor, is there anything else that y'all are feeling in terms of what you want to do as you approach the southeast quadrant?
I'm just real sad.
just generally keeping an eye out, an ear out.
All right.
Is there like a perception that I can like scan things and just peeking moves again?
Yeah, I was trying to see if my repurpose had any good use here, but I can't think of anything. Like.
All right, so that would probably be a scan the horizon.
I think we should be looking for, like, seeing if we could see anybody out in the forest, because we're trying to find a camp.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
We're looking
And
for
we have intelligence from the RAF on where this camp is.
Yeah, specifically where it is. So That would be a scan the horizon roll, just given your positioning within the forest and the approximate location of the photos, etc., etc., etc.
Let's do it.
6. That's a fail, right?
Do you have?
Yeah.
Do you have with your bonus?
This. I'll say that the +1 probably only.
Well, just with the
Who
eye,
has-
with the eye bonus.
Oh right, the eye bonus. What's the eye?
Jeremiah, what your attribute for eye on your character sheet? So you have 4 attributes: valor, eye, wit, and brawn.
Oh, yeah.
What's your eye?
Oh, 0.
Oh, never mind. Then you fail.
It's so low. It's my worst one.
You fought valiantly. I'll give you that.
I tried. I tried.
You tried so hard.
I tried to get you something.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, I'm really just admiring Will and what's left of my handiwork.
Yeah, and I'll say that you probably steal a few glances to Rose every now and then. Yeah, just because, gotta admire your muse. So that's a 6 from Jeremiah, Estella, Rose, Denny.
I think I've done enough.
I got a 7.
A 7, which 7 with a partial success on a scan the horizon, you don't get a complete view of the battlefield.
And I think that might be enough. If Rose at least knows that we're near the camp, we don't need to risk any more dice rolls.
Yeah, you're in the direction of the camp, and indeed, actually, Estella, what did you roll?
Did I have to roll? I'm not very sightsee.
Give it a shot if you want.
Sightsee.
Okay, well.
Watch, you're gonna get a trouble.
That was
Yeah.
Carl's job.
Yeah, that's why you had a scout.
Oof.
No, not at all.
No.
This yep. This is why we're gonna be spotted.
This is real bad. I'm just...
We're gonna be.
No.
This is the point in the game when the GM's like, okay, they failed. How many rolls now? How merciful can I continue to be?
Don't worry, I've got you covered.
Oh dear.
There is a scant campfire that you see way in the distance. You are not entirely sure where it is, but it is forward, and it is within some of the deeper parts of the sanctuary woods. If you have any hope of finding these gentlemen who served with General Mercer, or at least near him, you're going to have to press forward.
At least they're not dead, because there's a campfire.
Somebody's not dead.
Yes, somebody's not dead. I mean, hey, they could all be dead, and that could just be the Germans waiting for us.
Oh, I didn't even think that.
Does it smell like? It just smells like burned wood. We would smell it if it smelled like anything off, right? Like.
What are you implying, Estella?
It would smell off. You don't.
I've heard tales of the enemy's cruelty.
I'm just
but those were just tales, right?
Does it when you go out for a nice campfire and there's that lovely warm aroma? Is it that or is it anything else? Is my question.
Say it's marshmallows. Say it's s'mores.
Chocolate, cinnamon, graham crackers.
Barbecue, grill.
Hot dogs over the Barbie. Nope. So far, so wrong.
No. Nope.
It's like a D-.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
We shall find out what strange aromas emerge from the woods after a quick little break that we'll be taking.
An aromatic cliffhanger.
An aromatic cliffhanger. Enjoy yourselves, everybody. Get up, get stretched, get some water, do whatever you need to do for self-care, and we'll see you back in about 5 to 10.
We're back from our break on an aromatic cliffhanger. What the fuck does it smell like, Jason?
What does it smell like?
What does
Oh,
it smell like?
What a very
What does it
aggressive
smell
way
like,
to ask such
Jason?
a question. I mean, I've been mulling over it, and no, in my head, as you continue along through the dark forest of the sanctuary woods along Montserrat, it doesn't smell too dissimilar from what you are used to, Estella. Having raised the question, I will say that there is definitely, it's definitely not that pungent because it's a very small fire, and indeed what little light you see you were almost lucky to see as you approach very casually. I'm assuming, Rose, you're at the front of this, or where do you want to be? How is everybody oriented, as it were?
I feel like we can't have Rose at the front because Rose doesn't have camouflage on.
Yeah, we specifically said everyone's like standing in
We're
front of
shielding.
her, waving their arms.
Exactly.
We're like shifting forward as trees.
As trees move.
As trees must move. Obviously, yes. So I'll say that we're not going to keep your previous roles, but we'll say that after the debacle with Will, you've kind of sorted out that you need Danny with Will at any one point in time, even as you move along in a camouflage
I agree.
fashion. But you are able to progress forward toward the camp itself. It's not much. Seems to be there are a few remnants of it, and by it lounge a couple of figures that you can't get a really clear view of. The firelight is too low, and it's too dark,
Yeah.
etc., etc. You'd have to get closer. You're probably about 30 or 40 feet away at this point.
I'd like to roll blend in and sneak over with Will.
Thank you. You can't leave Will with us.
And I'm gonna actually stabilize my rifle over the saddle as we kind of like slowly make our way over. So if I do see any Germans, I will open fire on them. And I rolled a 5.
You rolled a 5. What did Will roll?
Will's gonna get a 12.
Will gets a 9.
Did you add the +1?
Will gets a +1. Will gets a 10.
And
So I fail, even though I'm wearing camouflage. Perhaps the Germans just see a pony. Oh, there's just a pony.
And like it has twigs and stuff, so it must have just been like
Chilling in the
forest.
It's clearly
it was-
a wild pony.
It's a wild pony, and it was running around in the forest. That's why there are still some twigs left on it. I have camouflage, and it's just walking real weird.
I mean, the
I
pony
love-
does have a saddle still, so that's kind of odd.
Yeah.
what I love.
Maybe the
It's a
The
pony that
rider
got
was-
loose from a farm.
yeah.
It's a
Exactly
children's
that.
pony that
Yep.
got loose.
What I love is that you assume that these guys are Germans. So,
I was gonna say I'm not making any assumptions. No, I'm totally making a lot of assumptions here.
so Danny, your knee, man, it really hurts. You rolled a 5, right?
I did get a 5.
Uh-huh. 1 harm or 1 stress.
What is happening? And then I'll decide.
You are going to trip. The wound will either worsen or you will suddenly be spotted.
So it's either hurt myself or be spotted?
Yeah, I'll say that. Hurt yourself or be spotted.
I'm going to hurt myself.
Okay, you dive on the knee against all instinct as you trip forward. I'll say, given the nature of it, again, either 1 harm or 1 stress.
I took the harm.
Yeah. So, yeah, what was sort of like a bit of a skinned knee is now actually kind of getting a little bit muddy to a worrying degree. And given that you just saw a man die from an infection, it's motivating you to get back to the medical tent.
So I might be the only soldier in the war to be killed by a pony, is what you're saying. Okay.
Gotta be somebody.
Gotta be somebody.
I mean, odds are it has to have happened at least once. As it stands, by some miracle, the people around the two figures sort of shift. One of them trains a rifle over in your direction. The rest of you see the figures shift and kind of stand. They don't quite see anything out of the norm. They don't even see Will, because his head is behind a tree, and the way that his body is kind of like low to the ground, so they think it's like a patch of moss or something that they may have not noticed before. At which point you hear two of them just sort of conversing with each other in French, in, shall we say, a very familiar accent. I cannot remember. Is it Quebecois that is very distinct? Yes. You hear them speaking Quebecois.
Oh. I'm from Kamloops, so I wouldn't know the difference.
It is gibberish to you. You have no idea what they're saying.
I'm gonna turn back to the group.
Is there anybody that speaks Quebecois in or French at the very least?
So like B does. Does that skill translate to Jeremiah?
It's a question.
It
like, could. I mean, Jeremiah's from Toronto, but I mean, they could have had like a Quebecois partner or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure. Jeremiah understands Quebecois.
Quebecois French, just.
Quebecois French. And do you think
specifically,
do you think the French locals would look down on Jeremiah for speaking that
absolutely.
Quebecois?
For sure.
For sure. But hey, congratulations. You understand what they're saying. Seems to be two of them conversing like, what the fuck was that? Did you hear something? I'm going to go investigate. That's what one of them definitively says before being stopped and said, no, your leg. Think about your leg, damn it. Just sit down for a bit.
Okay. It sounds like somebody's injured, but they want to go investigate why there was a pony. I get it, you know? I can't tell if they're good or bad. Did you see anything, Danny?
I'm just like nursing my knee. Like, what are they? I think they're speaking French.
Yeah, that's definitely French. You can tell by the terrible accent, like it's Quebecois.
I mean, we're looking for, was it Reeves, Silva, and Kettering, right?
The names that you do recall are Sergeant Jordan Reeves, Peter Gould, Rodrigo Silva, and Joel Kettering.
Missed Gould. I don't know if these are French names.
They're definitely not.
So I'm gonna, Jeremiah, I honestly have no idea. I mean, I'm bleeding out of my putties are all covered in blood.
If Rose heard that one of them is injured, she's gonna step out.
You're gonna ignore our injured member and go to their injured member.
Let's see how it is.
I mean, to be fair,
he will live.
Will I? In the world of Ross rifles, I have 2 more boxes left until I am literally killed in action.
Oh my god.
So
you also haven't vocalized that you just took another injury, whereas Jeremiah did just hear and vocalize about an injury that they had.
I just said, I'm just nursing this knee wound. I'm bleeding down on my
okay,
putties.
That's true.
Bleeding down on my putties. I did say that I might be the first soldier to ever be killed by a pony.
I mean, it all seems sarcastic.
And then Rose is like,
that part was in character. I didn't think the pony part was in character.
No, that wasn't in character.
Yeah.
But the other stuff was.
Okay. Well.
Rose looks to Danny and then looks out to
just go do your thing.
Yes. she, again, she's calculating like how injured is everybody and how to try to deal with them. But considering that they're planning to come investigate, she's going to take the initiative and step out.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So into the sort of encampment, you note only 2 individuals, although there are signs of activity of what may have been multiple individuals, as well as the effects of a couple of missing Canadian soldiers. So there were 5 people who were sent. There are 2 now, and 3 uniforms that are sort of ransacked and being used as tent material.
Yeah, she'll just kind of, with her hands up to show that she's not in any.
Yeah, the rifles
Any
are trained on
threat.
you
Yeah.
almost immediately, but
And also, she has the medical uniform
Yeah.
going on here.
as soon as one of them like sees and notes your status as a non-combatant, or at least as a
A
Canadian,
non-combatant.
I say it's it's 95 degrees down here. Okay. The rifles are trained off of you, and there are like a couple of bewildered blinks. What's that?
Are they wearing CEF uniforms?
They seem to be, yeah.
Okay. We're friends. We're actually searching for people. I think it's okay for you to come out, guys, from behind Will.
I'm gonna kind of come behind Will, looking like a badass with my rifle.
A bunch of tree people emerge. I think
Yep.
that's really what it looks like.
They are almost scared shitless. Like,
Fiddlesticks.
yeah, serious.
Oh, creepy like.
Seriously, like, they think that the trees are coming alive. They'll probably tell some poor injured bastard in the song about it. But they allow you to advance, and in sort of bewildered fashion, they kind of look to each other, look to you. Were you looking for?
I've got some names
Yeah.
painted on my arm. Silva, Gould, Reeves, and one of them scribbled out. I'm sorry.
Kettering.
Thank you.
Kettering.
Kettering.
Boucher. You actually see the one who's kind of injured direct them to the uniforms. They go to the 3 uniforms, and Boucher, whoever that is, blinks a few times, looks back, and nods, and then pulls. One is a wristband similar to yours, Danny, although engraved in bronze instead of silver, and a couple of dog tags as well. Sergeant Reeves, Kettering, and Reeves, Kettering, and even I'm forgetting the names.
Gould.
Gould.
What about Silva?
MIA.
MIA.
Did you find these? Or were they with you?
Boucher kind of shies away at the question, and the one who's injured, he kind of leans back toward the fire. Found them. Found the bodies before we found them. We've had a time of it as of late.
Okay.
Are you from the same section?
He nods. We're a few sections down when Massa got it. Artillery shell. To the head.
To the head.
I can remember. The shrapnel, at least. They got him back to the tent, but he died 3 days later.
Here, let me look at that, and she'll she's going to approach and
He will visibly tense, and you see him reach for his sidearm, but Boucher kind of like calms him down.
yeah, and I'm gonna field medic this
All right,
and hopefully not fuck up like last time.
go ahead.
That's a 7, so
Didn't mess up.
I didn't mess up. So on a hit, I do remove 1 harm.
Okay.
And then both of us, well, we mark stress.
Okay.
Both myself and whoever I'm treating.
Just to give him a name, Karen. Private Karen seems to like tense visibly at this and takes a shuddering breath. Treating the wound, you recognize it as, well, you actually recognize it quite well. It's a sniper shot.
Oh.
Clean through the leg. No bone, no nothing. Just in one end of the thigh and out of the other.
Yeah, I think Rose makes a sympathetic noise while she deals with it. And I think with the free hand, she like waves over at Danny like, I saw, come sit down so I can see your knee.
Estella, Jeremiah, as you are sort of milling around the camp, I give you this opportunity to make a scan the horizon.
That's not a good idea. Oh my god.
I don't know why I bother. 6. My eyes are really just decoration.
Which is more? Oh, that's a good noise.
11.
11.
Nice.
Pure
Congratulations.
luck on that. I have no skill in.
Can we just admire that B said my eyes are just decoration?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good, very good. Yes, again, Jeremiah, you're kind of distracted in seeing Rose work and all that all the other sort of artistic inspiration that is now kind of you actually see a couple of candles that seem to be sort of residing near the
Calling your
campfire.
name.
Ooh, I might have to reach out and grab one.
Are they different colors, or are they just the standard red and white?
Seems to be green in this one.
Oh my gosh.
It's
I
got
could
some
make
variation.
a forest scene.
Wax camouflage.
Oh
Don't
my
even tempt
god.
me. Except it would like break and crumble, but like
Yeah.
still.
Statues.
So
Okay.
Boucher begins to paint a little bit of a picture. Him and Karen were separated from their squad mates, and then they just started finding bodies in the woods. Initially, of these 3 folk, they found 2 more that were somewhat near a ravine. They couldn't get them because they had actually fallen into what seems to be a crevasse of some description. So they did not have the ability to retrieve those bodies, but they can perfectly mark out where, on your map, where the rest of the bodies are. Boucher is very visibly shaken. He describes sort of constant gunfire that all of you are familiar with. Now it's filled with, well, he basically sits down and says it's filled with a void of silence, where there are only small cracks that you hear from falling branches or excuse me, a pop or 2 from an unfortunate somewhere within the woods.
Okay. Rose, what do we do? You're in charge here.
Rose is suddenly being like, oh, I'm in charge. Oh. I don't think she ever realized. She's just like,
I don't know if you really are. We just decided you were. So
We
like-
decided you were because you didn't want to wear camouflage.
Stella. before Rose can answer, it is now around 10 o'clock or so. The moon is very high in the sky. It's a very clear night. Shafts of moonlight fall through the trees. And indeed, as you hear Boucher kind of describe to you what exactly has happened, and having already marked where the bodies are, you see the faintest glimmer of something in the distance. And you see the blood leave Boucher before you hear the crack of a sniper rifle. He falls to the ground, limp and lifeless.
Down, everyone down.
I'm rolling. Take cover.
Yeah, like
Will, take cover.
Can I Will take cover. He knows this move. It's like a
I get a 10.
Okay.
And Will gets an 8.
Okay.
Since I saw where this was coming from. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh
No, go
no,
ahead.
I don't like that face. Why that?
Oh, because there's only one option for Will for getting an 8 on take cover. Will has to get caught underneath some sort of debris or trapped or something.
Oh.
I was gonna use as a scrounger. I have dig in, which is like provide improvised cover
Sure.
of some sort. So I wanted to attempt that since I kind of saw it first and saw the direction of it and everything like that. Even if it's
Go ahead.
just like tree debris or something, I can I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
Nope, that's not good. That's a 6. Just missed it.
Yeah, no, you try and maybe figure something out with the tent poles that they've made from
Yeah,
trees and whatnot, but no.
there's nothing here, so just get down.
Jeremiah, Rose?
I got an 8.
Okay. So
To think.
that means again for take cover, that means you're trapped under some sort of obstacle or debris, right?
Yeah.
I will say that
Will falls on you.
And Will's got Will's got short little legs and can't get up.
He's like a turtle. He's like
And then Will fell over on Jeremiah.
I'll say that there was a nearby briar grove or briar patch that you didn't really see. You get tangled up in it, and then Will falls on you.
Ouch.
Will. Oh, and Jeremiah.
Rose, what do you get?
Rose got an 8, so.
Hey, guess who was also caught in the bramble patch?
It was just so close by,
Karen, immediately not even thinking about cover, goes to douse the flames
That's
with
smart.
with his jacket. There will be another shot that rings out and does not it does not hit. But actually, wait a minute. Danny, you rolled a 10, right?
I got a 10, yes.
And Estella, you
I
failed.
didn't roll for take
Oh, you
cover because
didn't.
I was
Dig
trying
in.
to
Estella
make.
will take in.
I was trying to dig in.
Go ahead and roll take cover for me.
Okay. Something better, dice. That's better. 8.
Okay.
Noise.
Brambles for everyone.
I'm just imagining a whole bunch of people just trapped underneath the pony.
Bramble land. Yeah, no, just all of us were behind the pony, and while he's actually that's better because even just the weight of a pony would be enough to break legs. So if all 3 of us can go under the pony, at least it'll be spread out.
That's true.
Could be the weight.
Oh, I have an idea. As the shot rings out, you quickly learn, wait a minute, this wasn't to hit anybody. This was to spook the pony.
To spook the horse. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So, could you please, if you don't mind, I believe that there's something like calm under pressure or something along those lines in terms of moves?
In terms of moves?
Uh,
No, we took that out. Yeah.
It was cover.
What are you trying to get them to do?
I'm trying. You know what? Make it bogged down. Bogged down roll for Will.
Okay, yeah. That. Will's trying to literally get up because Will has turtled.
Yeah.
Aw.
And so I'll say, since he's a pony, he gets +2 to the roll because it's brawn. But because he's in a bramble patch amidst everybody, I will.
That doesn't matter. I rolled a 5, so +2 is a 7,
Well,
and then any penalty is going to be under 7. And Will's just kicking in the air.
Yeah, no, you're going to have to help Will with this. And it seems that he digs you into the bramble patch further. I'm going to have to ask for 1 stress or 1 harm from everybody trapped under Will.
That makes perfect sense.
So how many people are trapped under Will? Is it Estella, Jeremiah,
And
Rose? All 3 of them.
all 3.
Okay. What are y'all gonna take?
Hey, audience, I started to account for the pony now. It's really fun.
Look,
The tables have turned. Use the pony against you.
I'm taking another stress, which will affect one of my attributes now.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a stress also.
Okay. And Jeremiah?
I took a wound.
Oh,
damn.
all right. So we'll say that a particularly nasty part probably scrapes on your side.
Okay.
Yeah.
All cut up.
I'm gonna just return fire and then fire. I'm gonna squeeze off around in the direction that I think this is coming from. Probably not even the right direction. I'm just gonna shoot into the forest is shooting at us. I shoot back at the forest and then I run to try to pull Will off.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would be.
Anybody want to aid me?
Can I?
If you-
Yeah. Is there?
Yeah. So you can aid. It's valor to aid.
Oh well. Sorry.
You can give it a shot even if you don't.
I would do that.
Okay. So Rose will be trying to aid.
And this is why Rose is our leader.
Yeah.
Rose had +2 valor now. Like,
You're brave.
Dang.
Yeah.
brave
And-
girl.
I'll say that Karen tries to make the sort of same move as you. He's a little bit slower. So instead, he just kind of tries to carve out a path from the branches.
Okay.
For just in case you can't get Will to cooperate.
So for aid, you're gonna just need a hit. But if you get a 7 to 9,
I did get a 8, so that's
okay.
a 7 to 9. So.
So I'm gonna get a +1 to my bog down because I had a 0 in brawn. Oh, and I
Yeah.
got a 6.
But I got unwanted attention.
And that unwanted attention is likely gonna come from the fact that I failed. So I can't find a way to get Will off of you. Will, why did you eat so much? And
Will.
I definitely cannot get Will off of the rest of the section.
Will must now take, and I'm sorry, 1 harm or 1 wound, or 1 wound or 1 stress.
Can I take the wound for him?
I'll take the wound for him.
Yeah.
What's the wound coming from? Is
We'll
Will gonna
all
get
take the
shot?
wound
Okay.
for Will.
You know what? No. I'll have this be.
No.
You guys now have to make a decision. Does Will take a stress or a wound, or does somebody trapped under him take that stress or wound?
Ooh.
I'll take a stress.
I could take a wound.
I haven't taken a stress yet.
I haven't taken a wound yet. so.
Okay.
Okay, so
We're on the same
Estella-
page, I think.
We're on the same page.
Estella, the head whips around in such a way where, like, the length of the snout cracks
Yeah.
across your
Oh
nose.
yeah.
Oh, that would hurt.
Oh yeah.
Her heads
oh, yeah.
are hard. I was literally on my parents' farm yesterday. Horses are.
Horses are fucking mean. Like,
They're just very sturdily made, more so
Sturdily
than
made.
humans. So,
very
like,
much
if
so.
if they
Not
put
a
their
lot of
face to
cartilage
your
up there,
face,
Yeah.
your face is losing every time. Just
Yeah.
saying.
And Private Silva, you learned that lesson.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
Rose,
Yup.
you failed to help Private Moon. Is there anything else that you would like to try to do?
I'll aid you.
Yeah, she wants to get out.
Okay.
That's basically the goal here, is to get out
Yeah.
under Will.
Yeah, can I help? I was either gonna, because I do have some brawn, I was either gonna help to try and lift Will, or I was gonna use my repurpose skill to like grab a branch and use it as a lifting device.
Now
Oh,
we aren't using the morale. We're not
What's
using
that?
morale this game, are we, Jason? You forgot the rule.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
So there's a rule in Ross rifles, and actually with the way the narrative's going, it doesn't make sense for us to have any, but there's an optional rule in Ross rifles for morale. It's a pool that the entire section, so the party, has. And instead of rolling aid, you as a party can decide whether or not you want to use a morale point to give someone an automatic +1 to their roll. However, if you use morale with somebody and they fail, you share the failure with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will say, because it's just fun, I'll give you 3 morale.
Okay.
So if you would like to do that, perfectly fine.
I would like to. I rolled an 8, so I would have given a +1 to Rose anyway to help get out from underneath our pony, which I realize has been a giant detriment to the section.
I disagree. I think they've been wonderful and morale inspiring.
Maybe
This is
that's
why
where our
we have-
morale comes from.
Yes!
There we go. Okay.
Suddenly you realize, oh God, Will is in danger. We have to work together.
We must act.
Rose.
It's like those people who lift up the cars off of their children when they're in danger.
Yeah.
Except instead of a car, it's a pony.
And you're lifting them off yourselves.
Yes.
Rose. You're trying to get out from under? Go ahead and roll for
Yeah.
that. Estella, roll bogged down because you said you're going to be trying to like push Will off, right? What's
Yeah.
that look, Rose?
I'm surprised at myself. That's a 10.
Hey, fantastic.
Okay.
So good news for Rose. You claw your way out from under Will and out of the bramble patch because Karen kind of cleared his space. He immediately starts impressing in Quebecois, which is just second nature to him. We need to leave. We need to leave now. Jeremiah, you're probably the only one who understands.
I think he's saying that we have to go. On doit quitter. Like, we gotta go. Allons-y. Let's get out.
You hear another shot ring out.
Oh no.
Running out of NPCs to kill.
Yeah.
Okay,
Stop it.
Don't go easy on us. It's okay.
I know.
No.
That's why I'm going to say
Just
one,
go easy
one
on Will.
harm,
Everyone
one
else.
harm or 1 stress to Will.
You could go hard on us, just not Will.
Unless
We
somebody
literally
wishes
just
to
said
take
that.
it.
I'll take it. I'll take it for Will.
Okay. What are you taking? A stress or a will?
I'll take a stress as we lift Will off of the rest of the section. The shots are ringing out, and I'm like, go! And I actually jump on top of Will, and I start riding. But Will is very, very startled, so this will give Will that stress.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
definitely.
making it very difficult for me to actually control the pony. But I am now
Absolutely.
riding a pony.
Yeah, and are therefore a bigger target. So,
This is for all of you. This is for you 3.
So-
Survive.
Jeremiah, Rose, Estella, you now see Danny begin to bolt off in an
It's a
opposite direction. Yeah, a direction, an opposite direction of where you came from. Karen is definitely impressing upon you the fact that we have to go, and so begins to stumble back. Another shot rings out and whizzes past his head, burying itself into a nearby tree. What do the rest of you do?
Go.
Run.
just run.
Sure, then that's a fall back from everybody.
Yeah.
Allons-y.
Get out of here.
Pull back.
That is a I'm good at that.
Seems like the dice weren't with us. The dice were not with us.
That's 11. Ah,
Okay, the dice were with you, just not Will and I.
Since you're riding Will, go ahead and just have Will roll for fallback.
Oh, okay.
You can use morale to help Will.
Yeah, use
What's
use
for?
the morale points.
Okay, let's do that then.
Oh, hi.
That's an 11.
Ooh, yeah.
All right.
I want to. Well, I know I'm very wounded, but I'd like to perhaps dramatically ride this pony out of the forest. As I'm riding, you can see like tree trunks exploding all around me as whoever's in the forest is shooting at us.
Yeah. I'll say that it looks a hell of a lot cooler in your head.
Oh yeah, 100%.
100%. But you get the sense that trees are shattering around you and whatnot, but you really are just having like pot shots taken at you. It's almost like the sniper isn't really interested in hitting you. It's just making the horse more uncomfortable.
Yep, and I actually have to like put my legs out like this to avoid them like scraping across the ground because I'm riding a pony.
Absolutely.
Because it's a
Yes.
pony.
Because I'm riding a pony.
Jeremiah, Estella, what did y'all roll for fallback?
Go ahead. I did not do great.
I rolled a 12.
Jeremiah?
I got a 7.
Okay, so
Pass?
it's either
It's a pass, but there's complications.
1 stress, 1 harm, or you lose a personal line.
I don't have any things to lose.
Hey, remember those green candles?
Love those.
Yeah.
No, you're not supposed to say I love those.
You're just confirming.
I hate them. I'll lose something else. Like,
Never wanted to see them, to use them.
that are the pains.
Either that or the paints, yeah.
How do I lose my candles?
Kienna, whose side are you on?
It's one or the other. Like, there's no competition.
Aren't you the sweet half of salty sweet?
Look, I've known Kienna a long time. This is not even half of what they can pull off.
Just saying.
So,
I'm just doing what's interesting, y'all.
so
Loved my candles.
yes, you did. You loved them so dearly, and yet, as you were thrust against a tree, the pocket that you would put them in split open, and unfortunately, just spilled out the candles. In the fury of retreat, you could not even hope to bring them back.
I will mourn them.
Yes, as well you should, I'm sure. The rest of you fall back to a comfortable distance. The sniper loses sight of you, and the evening drones on into midnight as you make your way out of the sanctuary wood. It takes a while to get Will to calm down again, but at the edge of the forest, I'll say that there's this sense of like, holy shit, we've just gone through, we're alive, I'm okay now. And then it's very hard to persuade Will to move.
I mean, Will could do whatever Will wants.
You spoil this horse for whatever reason.
Look, historically, many sections had mascots.
That's very true.
This is our mascot.
It is a very good mascot, it must be said. Rose, you note that Karen is kind of limping now. The preliminary stitching that you had done on the wound has kind of not held up. It seems that he's...
I mean, we're starting to sprint. That was not meant to hold up with sprinting.
Yeah, and he definitely, as he reaches the forest edge, you see him kind of fall to one knee and seems to be suppressing vomit. At the very least, is supremely stressed.
Understandable.
It looks like this guy, if he's forced to walk another mile, is going to collapse.
Yeah, she's gonna immediately like stop and turn back, and like kind of scoop herself underneath him. And like, come on, it's just.
What?
Just a little bit farther. Come on.
Fine. A little while.
Look, either I'm going to take you back to where it's safe, or either we're going to have to deal with whatever's going on here with an injured knee. I'd rather you not do that right now.
Rather here than there. And you see his eye cast to the front, which is now in perfect view.
There's a medical tent.
A medical tent.
There's only so much I can do for you right now, but I'm not gonna fucking leave you behind. So come on.
Can we put them on Will?
I'm just gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna dismount from the pony. Get on the pony. We gotta get out of here. We're gonna get you some proper medical attention. Do you want to go home in a box?
You got one foot in it. And he kind of taps at his injured leg.
Do you
That
want
is
both?
not going to kill you.
That's nothing. You
you went the empathetic route.
Yeah, and she's
Pushing him
in the
on.
way that like a very naggy person does. Like, no.
Oh, shut up. You're not dying here.
Get on the pony.
And so you
If
escort.
nothing else, it's a free pony ride.
I imagine that's what the last thing that he hears before succumbing to unconsciousness. Nothing else. It's a free pony ride. And
Oh my god.
And so the evening winds down for each of you. The medical tent comes into view some hours later, and it is a hell of a time to get a hold of Sergeant Josephs. He seems to have been kind of caught up in the paperwork of trying to transfer command of Jeremiah and Danny to the First Corps. There has been a hell of a lot that's gone on his end that only worsens when he finds that whatever reports there might have been are a hell of a lot worse than what even he could imagine. As we see, however, the evening goes into early morning. And I will say, as sort of a last shot, where do we see each of you come sunrise?
I mean, Jeremiah's back in whatever building they were in, the first, where there's like the half-finished impression of the maple leaf done in red and white. And, you know, they're incredibly sad at the loss of the candle, but instead they're just going to paint on the wall with the remaining acrylic paint they have the impression of the fallen soldiers.
Oh, this isn't a building. This was a dugout. That's a dirt.
Yeah,
That's a dirt wall.
Oh,
Yeah. No, well,
that's even better.
Yeah, I'll say that it's sort of like there's paneling on it that has been
Yeah.
kind of, a little bit, maybe could be considered structural.
Buildings on the front.
Very, very, very rudimentary.
Okay.
Danny, Estella, and Rose. Pardon. Where do we find you come the morning?
Estella is bringing Rose a cup of really terrible coffee to the medic tent because I assume she's been there all night.
Yeah.
So, Rose, have you been attending to the one soldier? Have you been sort of...
Probably, I think she attended to the one soldier for a bit, started wandering to the others, and then he woke up and started being his cranky self, and so had to go back.
Yeah. It took a little to calm him down, but he found a nurse from Quebec, and they are sharing what seems to be a very pleasant conversation.
Yeah, and then she'll step out and probably bump into Estella right at the entrance. She'll take the coffee and probably down it all in one go.
Whatever passes for coffee here. It's
Yeah.
actually the better stuff because I like probably have some stuff hidden,
Yeah.
but it's still not great.
I thought you were gonna say I also grow coffee.
That's what I was waiting for.
Do I have grow lights here to make like?
It's an entire
coffee?
subterranean operation going on.
I mean, if you believe in me that much, then sure, great. Coffee would definitely be
In this climate?
In this climate, it would not.
It
but-
would not grow. That's why it would need coffee is tropical. Like coffee is hot. So
But yeah, so she will have her coffee. Kind of for a moment look back behind her in the medical tent and just be like, want to show me what you've been growing recently?
yeah, I totally I have a few shells still hidden that no one's taken yet, so we got some stuff. I have a good feeling about the next batch. Reckon. It's funny because oregano is often used as a euphemism for something else, but this is legit
This is
oregano.
just oregano.
It's just oregano because it's just nice to have some herbs and
You can't grow
spices.
cannabis on the front lines.
No, you can't grow.
Nope, that's not gonna happen.
It's not even worthwhile. It's not. There's no F it. Let's grow some herbs at this point. Coffee would be priority if that was possible, but it's not.
Yeah.
So.
And Private Moon.
As the sun rises, this is how I think it looks cool in Danny's head, but as the sun rises, he's sitting there in the trench next to the pony Will. He feeds Will a carrot, a very tiny one, because that's all we've got. Feeds Will a carrot. As Will nibbles on the carrot, Danny is actually writing a letter home to his mother, telling her about the excursion into the forest,
Excursion to the sanctuary, yeah.
into the sanctuary, and how it was very far from actually being a sanctuary. They got shot at, and how I'm unsure of who to follow in this war, especially in my section.
Perhaps one day you'll find out.
I'm also writing this in Chinese because I know my mail will be censored.
Oh, yeah. As it stands, however, as you write this letter, and as Estella, you go to check on the artillery shells, as you, Jeremiah, paint your scene, and as you, Rose, receive the, I believe it's a singular strike of Lance Corporal, a battlefield promotion for your resolve in executing this mission.
Still don't know who to follow.
We fade to black and say goodbye to United in a Common Cause, just for now. And goodbye to stream, because that's the end. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Thank you, everybody, so much for being here. Thank you so much for everybody who had the chance to support Sage, the Sage Community Food Bank, and just be here for a couple hours as we go through this very, very marvelous time. I love the hell out of every single second of this. I am so honored to be at the table with two first-timers, with you, B, and you, Dan. This was marvelous. And also with you and with you, Kienna and Jess. It's there's never a dull moment. I cannot say thank you enough to each of you and to the channels, all these sweet games, who I will now hand the reins over to.
Yay! Thank you so much. This was fun. We're gonna go around and see all of the lovely people again, so they can tell us who they are and where we can find them on the internet. So first off, let's go to Jess. Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess. Thank you so much. This game was so much fun. I'm so glad we managed to get the pony in. I think it really made the game having Will with us. That was so good. But yeah, thank you all. My name is Jess. You can find me at go_JG in pretty much all the places online. I make weird little indie games over on itch.io. I like streaming and showcasing indie games over on our channel. We do Chaotic Fiasco Fridays and Blades in the Dark that we've completely reskinned to be less about being bad guys and more being nerds who want to find artifacts. And coming up next weekend, we are doing a whole heckin' charity day, which we are calling Tabletop Games Day. Emphasis on the gay. It's going to be all LGBTQIA plus indie games and with the community and raising funds for the Trevor Project. And it's just going to be a whole heckin' magical, sparkly, rainbow, gay old time. So yeah, come hang out for that. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
We host and raid Jess a lot, so if you are part of the community here, you know Jess and her awesomeness. And let's go over to B.
Yes, that would be me. I am B Zelda. You can find me on Twitter or any other socials as @B_Zelda. What do? I do some things. Part of an all D&D podcast, all women, non-binary. I do stuff on Twitch. I play games from time to time. I spend a lot of time guesting. I'm working on designing my own game. I'm a professional GM with Magpie Games right now. If you want to go sign up for a game to play at the table with me, you're also more than welcome.
Yay. Yeah, of course, B is part of Broadswords, and we love Broadswords here. We guest on each other's shows a lot, apparently. This is what we do. We just crossover all the time. Yay. And let's go over to Daniel.
Hello, I'm Daniel. I'm the co-host and producer of the Asians Represent podcast. I'm a writer and designer. We were just playing a game that I wrote. And I'm currently finishing up. This is Frost Rifles, for those of you who just joined and who rated. This is a World War I Powered by the Apocalypse hack about Canadian soldiers. Yeah, that's what I do. I have a Patreon where I write weird Chinese OSR monster manuals. Apparently that's what I do now. I just released one called Denizens of Mountains and Seas. So yeah, that's me. You can find me on my socials or on the screen. It's Daniel H. Kwan on pretty much everything, and AZNS Represent on everything else.
Yeah, AZ Represent is awesome. You should definitely go check them out. I also guest there sometimes.
You do?
As a scary empress, because that's what we do here. You know.
That's what you wanted. You're.
I mean, that's what I wanted. So
Yep.
It's great. And of course, Jason, a wonderful GM for today.
Yes, it's marvelous to be here. I've been here a couple of times, but it's always a pleasure. Keep it short and sweet. I'm @JustJason, please, on Twitter, PLS. If you just want to see where I'm at any one point in time, got a game this coming Thursday over on Black Cat's gaming channel. It's follow Black Cats on Twitter, I think, something like that. Game of Thrones, very wonderful time, very wonderful people, and just so happy to be here. Hope to come back and hope that you all enjoyed it. So happy to tell such a wonderful story.
I mean, you've been an awesome GM, and we love having you here and doing all of this terrible things to us and sometimes our pony.
Sorry.
Hey, the pony survived.
The
That's all
pony
that matters.
survived. Well, it's cool. We're all good. And to do a quick final channel stuff, I'm Kienna. I'm the sweet of this channel. You can find me over on Twitter @KiennaS. But I'm mostly just here streaming stuff with my co-streaming partner, Lauren, who has been graciously behind the scenes doing production. She is wonderful. Also, Lauren is exclamation mark Lauren. You are salty, but and we, of course, run this channel where we have a regular series on weekends and on Mondays. But you can go and follow us over on YouTube for any episodes you missed, or if you want to check out the other Frost Rifles games sessions we've done. And we have a Twitter, of course, to keep up with us as to when we go do a regular series, or when we do one-shots like this, or when we do impromptu video game streams, because sometimes we feel like doing that. We're gonna go. Also, I'd like to say thank you to our sponsors again, Roll20 and Dice Envy. They are wonderful people. Please go check them out and give them some love as they help keep the lights on over here, which is really important. We're gonna go raise some friends. I will go check that to what we're approval rating exactly in a second. But please stick around and chat. Spam that hype emote if you've got it. If not, just spam some hearts for love from us at Stealth Sweet Games. We'll be back live on Monday with our D&D campaign. Until then, take care of yourselves, everybody, and we will see y'all around. Bye, everyone.